Welcome to the Academy Showcase. We'll have TSM versus Evil Geniuses. Kobe, it's been a rough one. My brain is starting to melt from all the awesome league action we've had.
Let's start out better then.
All right,
Boom!
let's go. And let's take a look at the starting roster. Selecting blue side, it's TSM Academy. In the top lane, it's Dokla. In the jungle, Speaker. Mid laner, Evolved. Bot and support, Lost and Treats. And their coach, Mabry.
And facing them on the red side, it's the Evil Geniuses. In the top lane, Brandini. Jungle, Anda. Mid, Five Fire. Bottom, definitely support Matt. And Coach Tim Kiro on stage.
And we have seen both these teams somewhat struggle throughout their split so far in Academy, but on the Evil Geniuses side, definitely an Anda were the big difference makers the last time these two teams played in week 2.
Yeah, I did like a lot of the proactive playmaking from Anda from the jungle, and then a big bottom lane carry, as you see, definitely not dying a single time. Meanwhile, as well, in the mid lane, also a pretty interesting matchup, little budding rivalry mayhaps between Five Fire and Evolved. As they've gone head-to-head quite a few times.
They have played a lot at Scouting Grounds, where Evolved was the first pick and then eventually picked up here by TSM Academy. Five Fire did not have a team when the season started, but has since been moved into Evil Geniuses while they wait on their mid laners Visa. As you can see, both been looking pretty good.
Yeah, I especially like how intense Five Fire looked at the photo shoot. He's definitely taken the Evil Genius brand to heart, it feels like. But yeah, as you talk about for the mid lane too, for these teams also, we've had TSM Academy games tend to draw out a little bit longer. So these guys will probably have a decent amount of time to farm up. And we see some late game team fights from them, as you see, 36, 35 average game times for both of these squads.
Yeah, definitely seems like TSM Academy feel like kind of the old TSM that we used to see quite a lot more of, like very clinical, really disciplined in how they want to play, just trying to play them out perfectly and scale up through the mid and late game. So not afraid to like play slower games as their game time will indicate. But Evil Genius Academy have been kind of on the similar side. And I think that makes sense on the Evil Genius side for the veterans really leading them. Matt has been a leader in Academy on every team he has been in previously on Team Liquid Academy. He and definitely, not only has definitely been a big piece in a lot of their wins, but it does feel like Matt is just so plug and play with all these teams because he's just very good at telling younger players where to go and what to do.
Yeah, this is definitely an experienced bottom lane, and that experience definitely shows up in their macro calls, as well as them laning together and that kind of comfortable air that they have.
And just to let you know, we have already finished Champ Select, so we will show you the draft once we get into game, but things will be cooking real quickly.
I saw a spoiler on his screen when we were looking at Dokla there. Pretty sure he was Ornn. And Ornn usually goes Spellbook. He was choosing his runes.
Ooh, whoever would have guessed that Ornn was being picked in a game. Well, we'll see what happens here. TSM and EG Academy will do battle, and spoiler was correct this go around. Kobe on Sejuani there for TSM.
1 for 1 so far. And this is another game of the Trundle pickup here. I already in solo queue, whenever the enemy team picks Ornn, which is a lot, Trundle is a go-to pick for me because Ornn, wow, Ornn gets to make these high-value, extra stat-efficient gold items for his teammates and himself, and he gets 2 of them himself. Trundle can then steal higher efficiency stats from him. So what is yours becomes mine. But on top of that, it's the standard Trundle into Sejuani, so there are plenty of tank stats to get lots of value out of the Trundle ultimate in this game for Anda. For me, in the early game, this is not just a hard counter 100% of the time. Oh, you're just going to get smashed, right? Because Trundle makes you useless. Sejuani's crowd control is a big part of what she can do in the early game, especially before the stats really start to pile up. And oftentimes you can get a lot of burst kills, and Sejuani still gives you good initiation on targets and allows you to try and catch people out.
As you can see there, that is the draft on your screen. Most notably for me, Evil Genius is banning 3 ADs on their side, and TSM also banning away Senna. So Lost is actually pushed all the way down to Sivir, which we actually don't see very often, but is a champion he is supremely comfortable on.
And especially if they plan on this game going to the later stages, Sivir farming up for full build is very, very good for team fights. It also gives you extra speed to find those engagements and allow you to get your Sejuani and Ornn in place so that your crowd control actually results in someone dying. Because oftentimes, you have to rush your engagements and your DPS isn't quite in position. But this really does allow for you to make the most out of those small timings.
Volks here getting an early push in onto Firefire. It's actually a very different landscape when these two were playing in Scouting Grounds. Akali was everywhere. There were a lot more assassins being picked, but this is much more of what we've seen around the world, really. More farm-heavy, control mage style champions.
Yeah, there's kind of an ebb and flow to the competitive metas. And I really enjoyed our ebb, I guess, when we had a bunch of assassins and these big playmakers and people roaming around all the time. And now we are flowing right back towards the more standard farm up for later control mage styles. Victor plus Zoe definitely emblematic of that. Victor, of course, has to farm up large amounts of money, try and upgrade his hex score. This is actually more exciting than most of the tank fights up in topside. Brandini really getting in there on Dokla. See if that might actually attract some jungle attention, because that is definitely killable, tank or not.
Found one. There's Anda, right on time. Actually zooming in real quickly as Dokla built a health crystal. Might need it for this incoming dive. And they're actually going to pull the wave as Dokla just going to move down to meet him. He's going to have to try and escape it. Anda though with the bites and the red buff pillow. Good flash by Dokla.
Yep. It's going to cost him quite a few minions as well, because Anda runs him all the way down the lane there. So that's a very good usage of his time. If you look at Brandini, level 4, push that minion wave in. Even though the teleport comes out from Dokla, lost out on a significant amount there. So well spent time from the jungler. Meanwhile, we got a little glimpse of that mid lane. Zoe getting the recall off as Evolve was able to push in.
Yeah, got an ignite off the ground as well. So just a little bit of harass, but Firefire is going to have to go back soonish and start maybe charging up the Hex Core, or at least getting all his mana back because he's currently out. Does look kind of silly for Dokla there, but you don't really have anywhere to run. Like, if you stay on the tower, you're going to get dove anyway. So did have to burn the summoner there and at least avoids giving the first blood away to Anda, whose gank was very well timed. Brandini also still holding onto his summoner spell for now, but does have 2 Doran's items, so has completed that first recall. Still clearly down for a scrap here in the 1v1.
Ooh, loses the cannon minion, but it's going to get most of the rest of these. This one of the things about Set is it's very strong for some of the early stages, especially of lane phase, because of the passive and the way your double autos work. You just have so much more options at the level 1 even you can run at people. You basically have 2 autos to their 1. And if you're able to push up like that, build a big minion wave, then you can level up and you get your Haymaker. The shield is really good for diving towers. So that's why they were able to earn that bit of an advantage. Dokla bounces right back though. It results in a teleport discrepancy. So even though we're projecting this game to go long, there may be an option for Evil Geniuses to try and create some action, possibly on the bottom side of the map or possibly from Matt roaming. It would pretty much have to be around, I think, Matt and Anda working together to create something, because most of these looks are pretty defensive on the rest of the map. Maybe they get a recall early. You get that Moby Boots Thresh by, and he starts to run top for Brandini or something.
And as you can see just on the records there at the top of your screen, these two teams are quite close in the standings, and TSM have actually gone 1-1 every single week they have played in Academy.
Consistent.
So if they want to keep that consistency, they will pick up a loss here against the Evil Geniuses, which I guarantee they don't want to do. So we'll see if they can pick up that first 2-0 week, as EG also chasing 500 here with a win. As Speaker around the back of the Drake Pit will move down towards Anda.
See what they can actually do with it though. Just
Surprise!
pulling in.
Oh, Lantern there from Matt, gonna get Anda out of there. So not much of a surprise, but again, bottom lane has also mostly been farming back and forth, whilst keeping the CS nice and even there with Deathly, who does have the more aggressive side of the matchup. And 2 Dorans here for Firefire. Does not have the Hex Core upgraded yet though, so still feeling pretty good in the 1v1, something that Firefire certainly prioritized in the games they played at the end of last year. He constantly wanted to pressure Evolve and try and kill him. Anda, with all the space that his team is making for him, will go down to this Infernal Drake, which should be a fairly straightforward take here for EG.
Yep, you mentioned it as well. The bottom lane matchup here, MF and Thresh. Push on that Sivir, get her under tower so you can roam up and get the objective with your team. Trundle is very good at taking early dragons even solo because of the amount of attacks that you get on your W and the extra healing that you get when things die after you take it. Jump right back up there in health. He's able to hand off his blue as well. So early game kind of going as expected here.
Some gold to spend for the mid laners as well, but Evolved already getting low from his encounters as Dokla looking for a 1v1. He's swapped to Ignite, gonna get the knock up there. Could be first blood solo. Nola Haymaker not there, and the Ignite is not enough to pick up Brandini, but he's out of crit. Dokla looking for it, but can't find the follow-up.
Isn't that so frustrating as a tank player when you want to squeeze out just tiny bit more damage? You just got nothing left there. Set's passive regeneration is so good, even with an Ignite burning on him. Doesn't go down there. So close. And look, there wasn't much time remaining on Dokla's flash either. So he's definitely feels that one, but in the end, take a deep breath. Feels good at least to bite him off.
Yeah,
push him out.
Got the flash.
You're the Ornn. Going to be able to provide some big cash for your teammates later.
Brandini also is walking back top with the Merc Shred's finish, so trying not to let the CC get to him too often, but it's certainly playing not to overwhelmingly dominate this lane in the early game. He's actually, again, holding on to the TP to maybe try and go somewhere else with it, as EG have moved Matt up towards the top lane already and going to continue to try and play very fast for these early objectives as they're onto the Rift Herald.
Yeah, that was the surprise factor I was looking for. Obi boots, early roam, they don't go for a gank, but objective is actually even better for them. The Rift Herald will provide you 2 turret plates plus the kill gold. You have to pick up the eyeball though. Bit of a ring around the rosy here.
Got beta by Matt's Lantern.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I can get this. Oh no.
That is true trust. That is a trust fall right there, Pastry. You throw out a dark passage for me, I assume that I need to take it. Okay. There must be some danger that I don't see coming that your big brain knows.
Well, we have actually completed the swap as well. EG will move their dual lane top, even though they don't need it right now. That does mean that space around the dragon will be taken for TSM as they take the speed train, and Evolve is continuing to pressure 5Fire, but missing all the skill shots at the end there.
Side steps here from 5Fire, walking up into the lanes, trying to avoid that harassment, and does so.
Doing well 1v1, also up about 10 CS right now. And has the upgraded tech score as this ulti is just to clear the way of this time. Ooh, what a hook from Matt. Beautiful timing. Gonna give them that first plate, maybe even a second, almost enough, but not quite enough health on the minions to give Jeffrey time to tap down the tower. Instead, Ander will again continue to take control of this side of the map. Speaker will see this blue buff being taken, but I don't think he can do anything about it, and indeed Ander will smite it down. Spotted though, as they're going to see the Trundle looking for the dive here. I'm not sure they know the Sedge is here, but I think they do. And that's just going to be the Herald charging up. And EG should be able to take this tower fairly quickly. Going to clear the wave here first.
It'll have a little bit left here, and they don't want to overextend because you see the Zoe roaming. Just making his way over there. Evolved came through. If you get hit with that Sleepy Trouble Bubble in a burst combo, definitely going to make your party of Rift Herald celebration come to a quick, short end. He did have to give up a couple minions as the mid wave pushed into the turret to do that, though. So Evil Genius is very happy to just continue stacking up these small advantages for themselves.
They got those plates from the Herald. They still have the first tower to try and take in the next few minutes. And up about 1,000 gold just from farming and plates, which is always nice. There's still those first objectives on the table for teams to try and grab a hold of, but as we've seen in the bottom lane, it's been fairly quiet as they've just been farming back and forth. In fact, it's been 2 different 2v1 lanes for a little while, so really has been just splitting the farm as far as the early marksmen go. But Drake up at 35 seconds mean that TSM want to try and contest for this next one.
Yep, trying to lay their groundwork of wards first. 3 members to take down 1 control ward, not a fair fight.
Matt also overseeing what's happening, but just going to hook onto treats. Boxes after shot. Goes for the flay. And should have all that backup when this Drake fight inevitably rolls around. Drake also with exhaust right now, but he's already walked down to the pit, so clearly TSM are very adamant about fighting for this objective.
As far as the fight goes, you know, Spellbook Exhaust is really, really powerful for one of these mid-dragon fights. So I think Evil Genius is not going to make the call to try and even contest it. You trade this Ocean Dragon right now. You already have yourself one with the Infernal. And in exchange, you get your first turret bonus for Brandini finishing off the last plate there on that turret. First turret bonus does give you 150 extra still for your local golds, in addition to all the rest of your rewards for taking your tower. So they're able to push that one in. Now might be the chance for their bit of an answer, though, as they have a little bit of extra time for Brandini to work with. Teleporter's ready as well. Gonna get the recall off. Looks like he's grabbing Scuttle up.
Might as well. Brandini collecting that plate, keeping the gold nice and healthy, but Circle with the Sunfire already finished, probably not feeling too pressured in the 1v1. We'll see how much effect he can make on the map after that. Bubble point blank, but a good ulti, and Evolved. Not quite on the mark here as Firefire continuing to grow a pretty healthy lead in this 1v1. He's actually 20 CS ahead. Just consistently pressuring the Zoe as the victor.
Yeah, he's in such a nice spot here. Got his first upgrade already, a level 11. Boots have come in as well, so you get your extra speed for trying to dodge these Zoe skill shots.
You just kind of see, like, Victor does. I think if I'm remembering correctly, this was a counter pick for EG, because TSM went on the blue side for this draft, so it makes sense. Like, Zoe always goes to the same spot after she burns her ulti, and all of Victor's spells maximize effectiveness when you know exactly where the enemy is going to be. So I certainly see why Firefire has gotten a good foothold in this matchup, and already with the perfect Hex Core finished, means that he'll be able to just blow through these minion waves and start to either pressure the tower here or move out of the lane and look for some fights of his own. Vold is still chasing that first item for himself here.
All right, quick swap back here, sending duo lane up to the top side for Evil Geniuses. So they can push out and then try and get some of that jungle control. TSM making the first move, though, as they Scryer's Bloom and look over here. Too late for the red buff, though.
As a general rule, the first Herald are usually okay to maybe make a trade for, but nobody ever wants to give away the second Herald if they can help it. So TSM in position to contest for this upcoming objective. Exhaust there by Zerkla onto Brandini. Brandini firing back there with the Furious Fists.
And it is, even though it's technically a teleport advantage for Brandini and Evil Geniuses on this Rift Herald, he does have a hard time because Ornn's ultimate, you can interrupt teleports from a long range away. And getting the nice Dark Passage out. And Trundle is very good at healing up afterwards. You just have to go get anything to die around you. You gain so much health from your passive. They are going to take that opportunity to start it up. Let's see if Brandini can find himself a window to make use of the teleport advantage.
One for Evolve, that's first blood! Evolve finds 2 back-to-back bubbles and it does fall.
Maybe losing in CS, but you catch him sleeping, you're going to earn yourself a big objective there.
Yeah, it's pretty much the reason why Zoe is so popular. Pretty good at splitting lanes, even though Evolved is down in CS, but around objectives, through that wall, it's so frustrating to try and take objectives when Zoe is bubbling your jungler. Fire, he's just fine in the 1v1, but first blood to TSM, that does not give them the gold lead. Actually, EG still up by 1,000 thanks to that tower take and the plate gold they got, but TSMA can likely right the ship pretty soon with the Rift Herald that they just picked up as a result of that kill.
So, and if we look at this in the long term, which we should because this is going to be a long one, as we talked about. It's interesting because the Evil Geniuses side, they win kind of the war of attrition in most positions, save for the bottom lane. Because Sivir Braum is such a good team fighting bottom lane. That will scale super well. There's another look at your sleep into 100% kill on the jungler. Meanwhile, alive, they are going to get the mid turret eventually. Evil Geniuses take it down by hand. But in the other positions, Trundle, really good. We talked about shredding the tanks as well as especially Ornn items. You get to steal the increased value there for yourself as well. So you can try and shred through frontline. And Victor, puts out so much damage for these team fights. Where Zoe's pattern is so much more poke and catch. Riftfield here used to try and get mid back.
Yeah, they've actually got a 5v4 right now, so ulti there from Dokla to try and clear the area, but not enough to actually take down the tower, so they won't have the Ornn ult for this upcoming Drake. Good bubble though, gonna hit Matt. Follow-up is there. Oh, it doesn't quite actually get the range, but still the Boomerang Blade is almost there. Good ult there, though, from Brandini as he showstoppers into the back line, and Treat is going to look to get low, but does not fall down. Evolve continuing to poke, but they can't quite finish off these kills. TSM Academy trying their darndest to just kill somebody as Firefire finally dies to loss, but Joker will be sacrificed as well, and everybody is under the tower. It's an absolute mess in the mid-outer, but TSM do pick up a couple.
1-for-1! Solo lane trade right here. Firefire sticks around with Victor with very little HP, daring Dokla to tower dive to commit to that kill. In the end, he does, and they both trade for it, but it leaves higher health values for TSM and allows them to take the dragon because Lost on the Sivir here can come down, finish the DPS, and TSM get the real prize.
And again, the fake does go over, as you allude to. And even though it's kind of messy, it's the fun kind of mess. I like that these teams are willing to be a bit more aggressive, especially given the pace of the game so far. But they just throw everything in here. What a start by Dokla there as well.
Yeah, Dokla gets the combo onto Firefire, which burns the flash at the beginning of this fight. I really like the Thresh and Set combination because you can tank a bunch of Set, get off your big haymaker, and then peace out. Afterwards, though, they zone a lot of the extra damage here. You can see the recall being channeled there by Braum. In the end, he's going to cancel it and help out with the Dragon, but that right there is the commitment. Dokla say, you're not getting away with this one. Trades his life for that of Firefire and earn them the objective.
Fairly worthy trade, given how powerful the Victor was, and it does lead to the Drake, as they're now up 2-1. Still down in towers, though, so that gold lead will stay in the hands of Evil Geniuses Academy. But if their teams are more willing to get things going here in the mid-game, certainly could have the game be a little bit shorter than we may have projected, but understandably, Evil Geniuses are going to staunchly defend their mid-outer tower now that it only has about 15% of its health left.
Yeah, and you got to look at your possible targets here. Sejuani and Ornn ultimates are available, but the cleanse is still up on Victor, albeit no flash, and definitely has the flash but no cleanse. So both of your big targets for the backline for TSM to try and engage on and pick off do have options to try and avoid those CC tools. Meanwhile, if you pick up one of the frontline members here, you might actually be able to DPS through them in just a front-to-back style while Zoe tries to zone out with the Sleepy Trouble bubbles and Paddle Stars going through to the back line. Also, it's a viable option.
For now, EG just getting the waves pushing in the direction they want, which is towards the enemy structures. Lost will catch top. And Brandini and Dokla continue their battle down here in the bot lane. But again, Ornn is at a point now where he's just basically ignoring Set for as long as possible. Brandini will try what he can. Try and give him the old 1-2.
Just go through with me fighting game style. One of those matchups. Just start throwing out trash talk, combos coming through.
Ooh!
Yeah, here we go. Ah, they backed off. No more.
All right, Speaker's down here, so maybe the 1v1 is ending shortly. But it looks like Speaker's actually just going to take a recall here and is just making sure Purple has space to continue his glorious 1v1.
Oh, with the sidestep. Doesn't take true damage right there. Big moves from Big Dokes. Honestly, I do hope that the pro meta does not turn into multiple tanks on both sides for teams and farming out like this for neutral objectives. I hope that we do get, you know, some more iterations and variations to spice it up a bit. Because right now, it's going to be more of the same. You can see them spreading out 1-3-1. They're trying to protect definitely in mid lane. Matt keeps hovering right there with the Thresh. Lantern is ready. Meanwhile, tanks banging on each other in the bottom side, trying to get those marginal leads with pushing up the minion wave first into the enemy turret and getting off their recall.
Really, it's just Ornn, it feels like, though. I mean, like, Sedge coming back does definitely
So,
add another
yeah.
frontlining option, but Ornn is the one. He is the one that causes all the draft problem.
And we're not even, though, so I'm looking forward because live is 10-4.
Yes.
And we're not even on 10-4 yet, where the Cinderhulk buffs have also come in.
True.
And things like Zac are more options. It's not just going to be like Sejuani in the jungle, but I think there are going to be a couple of other tank possibilities for people. I do think that, yeah, Ornn, you're right. If you solve some of the Ornn issues, that's definitely going to spice some things up.
Buff Akali again. No one will complain.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly Volv would like that. Princess Assassin's play has been much more, in line with the meta though to TSM Academy. He actually gets a ton of his farm past 15 minutes, so he's often the one scooping up farm in the side lanes.
Yeah, a lot of the game right now for these mid stages is your lane allocations, where you're sending the carries basically. And we kind of touched on it a little bit though. Your marksman most frequently will go with support towards the mid lane because it's much safer. They barely have any health left on the turret, but that is your idea there, and you have your solos more capable of the 1v1s in the side lanes. Here we go though, starting out fighting over the ward, over the dragon setup, and teleport does come through. Let's get to it, Pastry.
Yep, they're going to start the fight here. Andy in the front line does come into stasis. Knock up there on the front line, but Matt getting low trees, blocking as much as he can with the Unbreakable Uppers Lost. Finally gets through the first tank, and it's 5v4 now for TSM, but Treats is low. Speak also has to be careful, but Joker able to get the next kill. A good showstopper there from Brandon. He is going to give one back over, but 5-5 now caught out of position. Lost is down, but if they can proc this Braum up with a nice Q flash there from Sed, he's going to be the CC that makes 5-5 fall. TSM Academy finally winning a big team fight as they take down Thor.
Yeah, that was a nice force by TSM. They got a really good split right there and are able to focus down the Trundle before it even starts out. Once you get through that member of the front line, they get to run them off and stack up another dragon, setting up Soul Point here. These Mountain Dragons adding more resistances to their super beefy front line. Ornn, Sejuani, Braum might be one of the tankiest, if not the tankiest, 3-member frontline that you can have in this game. And you can see they all just focus fire. So even though Anda is able to get off his ultimate on Trundle, so he gets tankier, he's also able to stopwatch and buy some time for himself. They still burn him down with the focus fire. And without the extra zoning here from that ultimate coming through, definitely Channel and Nev had to flash out there. It's a good job. They're able to basically just push that wedge through the rest of the team after taking down the front line.
Yep, again, just pick your favorite CC, get your last kill as 5-5 eventually falls to Speaker. Also a big shout out to Treats, who did so much work on Braum in that fight. Definitely just couldn't find a time to ult until it was far too late. So TSM will bring the gold right back to even, but gives themselves the opportunity, that first shot at the big Drakes back up in under 4 minutes. Brandini, though, continuing to keep EG's gold up in the positive. Will take down the tower in bottom lane as the red goes over to Speaker, I believe, who did smite it away.
And it's kind of the difference between Braum Sivir for team fighting compared to Misfortune Thresh, like we talked about, where lane advantage, yeah, Misfortune Thresh, really good. You can possibly set up plays there, but you have to be able to pick somebody off or get some good interrupts for it to be as powerful as Unbreakable going up, plus the Glacial Fissure. Chains come through. We're actually starting the Baron only 25 minutes into the game here, and TSM are trying to force and draw EG out. They want this teleport burned. Brandini's still holding on to it, though. Can they see the HP? I don't think they have current vision.
No, Volt actually did a great job of completely zoning Anda away. Now he's finally towards the back of the pit. They'll now get the ulti, but a perfectly lined up ulti there from Zerkler. He's going to combo in onto the set. By Fire also a little bit awkward. He's going to get chased down by Treats and Speaker. Frontline there for Doku as he's tanking the rest of EG. Fire fighting out will finally finish off Speaker as Anda did move in to join him. So now TSMA scattered across the rift, and that's a double kill for the Victor and one extra outside the Baron. So EG are going to win that fight and maybe get the objective as a result.
Perfect word there, Pastry Time. You said it. They scatter. And having that split is just what Evil Geniuses want. When you watch the replay, you can see them try and chase down Fire's Victor, but they're chasing him down with a Braum and a Sejuani. There's no damage there to follow up. Big part of these teams that have so many tanks, you have to be tanking for your carry. You have to be able to have that focus fire, or else your damage is not going to back it up. Here's a really good look at it. Okay, so the teleport comes through. Immediately you're going to have a flash backwards for Brandini so he doesn't get bursted down. He can then get his Haymaker off. And Five Fire on your screen is dealing with what? 2 tanks, forcing him back out. He can DPS them down. They can't do anything to him. And as they're body blocking, and since Lost on the bottom of your screen there, that's their main DPS for a team fight. If the Sivir gets chunked out, can't participate, it doesn't matter how good your tanks are because they're not tanking for anyone.
And the reason Lost couldn't do anything was the remote control ulti from Firefire completely shut him out of that team fight, so he's forced to try and find a way to lifesteal around the jungle. So really well played by Firefire and the rest of Evil Genius Academy, and they are rewarded with the Baron as a result. 4,000 gold up now, looking to really extend this lead. It's just something that resembles, you know, one step away from a victory.
Heck yeah, Baron's buff gonna give them the power to 1-3-1. Look at your mini-map there, boom. Brandini's all the way up to the inhibitor turret almost. Fire on your screen, working away on tier 2. And EG making the best of this Baron buff. Turret's going down, Dragon about to arrive as well. This is the one thing they do have to worry about. If TSM could nab the Mountain Dragon Soul, then their massive front line becomes nigh unkillable. And as long as they have somebody standing in front of Lost, they would have a very good shot at drawing it back in their favor. EG keeping up the pressure in the meantime, though, before Dragon does come up.
Yeah, they're just shredding through towers at this point. 6 down already for Evil Geniuses, and Brandini is working on the 7th there in bottom lane. Ulti out there from Dokla. They do want to try and kill this Victor if they can, but there's no one to follow up there on the decent ulti out of the Ornn. Treats there. Going to force the flash out, but they cannot follow. So Brandini, just with the free time, is going to bust down the bottom side of the map. That 1-3-1, just too much pressure for TSM with, again, their very classic front-to-back comp to just deal with. That has always been one of the answers, just split push them to death. And Brandini is going to not even take the paddle start because the mini wave zooms in right on time, and TSM have teleported in for this soul.
Everything is about this Mountain Soul. TSM want to burn it down. They've got to go for it. EG, can they get a steal?
It's going to be a 4v4, and they're going to try and get in there, but he can't get through. Sleepy there for the 7. The showstopper still buffing through. Lost, though. Witreach is going to back out of the area. Dokla has sacrificed himself for the cause, and the cause is the Mountain Soul.
Goal accomplished there for TSM. They do lose Dokla. They use their teleport, but they get the Mountain Soul. This is so big for them. Let's see if they can actually just wait it out now. There's nothing that Evil Geniuses can actually use to draw them on the map, so TSM, now they just have to wait out the duration, the rest of the duration of that Baron buff. You see everything being thrown out to stall, so there's no hope. Panda never gets in range for the steal, and now EG are left with a situation where their Baron buff has run out, and even though the inhibitor is down on bottom side, they can't do anything with that pressure because TSM can just farm up inside their base. They've got Ornn items already littering their teammates here. And the Sivir multiplying the DPS output. Tank frontline getting insanely thick here. So it was a nice shot there from EG in the mid game to try and make it happen with that team fight around Baron, but TSM gonna have a lot to work through.
Yeah, just you know, maybe 5-10 minutes away from feeling like the gold lead is still very large in EG's favor. It will just not matter with all the scaling they can muster. It is tough for teams to lose with the Dragon Soul, but it has happened before. Certainly has happened in Academy already this split.
So the mathematics behind resistances and shields are that they work off of each other because the resistances give you effective health. Basically, it's based on your health pool. So the more resistances that you buy or have from things like Mountain Drakes, the more effective each piece of health that you buy is. So they both multiply each other. The more health you have, then the more resistances you're going to want. And it's a balancing act. You basically just have to follow this slope up the graph. And now that they've got the Mountain Soul shield on top of all these extra resistances, Ornn items, and passives from all these tanks, TSM's front line just becomes insanely strong, and you're going to need things like Void Staff. Really good purchase here from Victor. You're going to also need the Last Whisper if Misfortune wants to do anything to those tanks at all.
We'll see what happens as the next Baron fight is up in 40 seconds. Elder Dragon also in 320. So some very major objectives about to spawn in the next few. Lost working on the fourth item, but it doesn't look like he'll get there before the fight is upon them. So TSM, they've shown that when they can find, the fight their team wants, very easy to execute when the damage dealers are behind the tank, just free hitting onto the closest target. But EG have done really well to navigate through what should be actually fairly tricky 5v5s just by splitting up and playing their carries intelligently. So with the vision that TSM don't have around these objectives, it will be tough to force a fight that they exactly want, but they have demonstrated they've got the ability to play the standard team fight this team is wanting to play.
And while, okay, Ornn gets caught.
Doppler maybe going to get shredded down here. Showstopper in onto Treats. Doppler flashes the wall. Treats now trying to tank up what he can. Does live for quite a while, but not enough to live through it all as Evolve arrives late, lost his low, and that's one kill nice and easy for EG.
Yeah, you're wishing for it, patient. There it is. There's no DPS around when Doppler gets caught. So it doesn't matter if you're tanky, if you're not tanking for anyone on your team to do damage. EG, they pick off the Ornn. They're going to get the kill. They start off the Baron. Treats is down, so he can't join. And Ornn is down now in base, trying to deal with the super minions going through there. So really big pick there, started by EG. They find the kill onto Treats in the end after starting out on Doppler. And they get another Baron. Barons versus Dragons. Who do you take, Pastry?
I mean, if they get the Elder Dragon, I might have to take the Dragons, but watch this one again. This is kind of a classic, it's Transcend games. It's the tank is just getting smacked by the raid boss and all the mages are asleep.
Right, so Zoe's back in base right now. You can see this is a 5v4. And once again on your screen, Lost, he runs for the hills. He got no autos off. That Storm you talked about last time, he just ran for the hills because they're in a 4v5, so the tanky members do end up going down. Yeah, it takes a little while. Trundle Ultimate is great at shredding through one of them, and since they're able to get that up, they do in the end pick up the extra kill. See what they can do now, though. Fivefire's got to watch out.
Speaker ready with the ulti. Great cleanse by Fivefire. That is some low ping reactions right there. Speaker, I mean, it's kind of hopping away. You can't do anything in that spot. This is really well played by Fivefire.
Yeah, I mean, if you, especially as Sejuani, you see that coming, your hand is right over the cleanse button, just waiting here. Ah, yes, you have all the answers. Honestly, so even though the games get a lot slower when the meta shifts like this, and you see these kind of protracted and longer mid games, it is kind of fun to watch players that have been playing in a meta where the fights are really bursty and skirmish is all about, oh, you got a flank and you instantly killed a backline member, or there's assassins flying around getting those big plays. Now playing much longer team fights where you have to play well for a longer duration because it takes so long to keep up good positioning for DPS carries to work through tanks and have to think about multiple rotations of these CC abilities. Here's another opportunity for that, as you have Brandini on the inhibitor in topside in the base with a Baron buff, drawing TSM back to their base, allowing EG to burn through the Elder.
It's like a little bit of highway robbery. EG just hide in the side and then sneak around when Brandini runs enough interference.
Gotta steal, gotta steal.
This is all the only chance Speaker and Treats have. Treats is the scout, Drake is resetting, and Fivefire is gonna find them. Matt also trying to keep him out of there. Speaker can last for a while, but not forever. Does get himself hooked, and they're just gonna go straight on top of him. Pops the stone plate Treats with the ulti. Matt actually gonna fall down. They might be able to get in there in time. Here comes the Ornn ulti. Elder Dragon up and available. Reset once again. Does go over to the Victor, so EG grab it, and Brandini slaps down Speaker. Treats gonna get blown up as well. A valiant effort. But TSM just can't do everything at once. It's lost, maybe. I changed my mind. Into stasis he goes. 3v1, but the Elder Dragon burn is just too powerful. Doppler can't fight at all. He's going to get blown up as well by the flames. And finally, an ace for Evil Geniuses will end the game.
That's gonna do it. EG get the Barons, and they get the best of the dragons. The Elder Dragon Burn, it allows them to chase down for the rest of the fight, and they will take this one over both the average game time for either team. Pastry moving up in the standings here and actually getting to 5 wins.
Yep, gonna tie with TSM as they will take them down. TSM will continue their trend of 1-1 each week, but EG will be happy to walk away with the win.
EG with some critical picks, setting up some of these Barons for themselves. They got double Barons, made both Barons really effective, ending up with a lot of extra pressure from those inhibitors and Brandini split pushing into the base, allowing them the final fight set up there. And even though they get the early kill goes over to TSM as they take one down, they still get the Elder Dragon, and that's the key. Once you have that buff, your execution damage, true damage burn, everything, allowing them to win the final fight and finish it off.
All right, well, after the commercial break, don't go too far, as Riv is going to go ahead and talk to a victorious member of Evil Geniuses.
Welcome back to the Academy League. I am joined by Firefire. Evil Geniuses just had a victory over TSM, and that'll be 2-0 for EG on the split. It has to feel good. What do you think made it possible for the team to be able to take the 2 over TSM?
I think at the beginning, it was a lot of our bot lane, just the experience they had at the beginning of the split, being able to beat them. But beating them this week, I think it really shows that as a team, we've been able to improve and evolve. And we don't just have to be a double if style playthrough bot 1v9 kind of team.
That's awesome, man. Evolve, great segue into my next question. Evolved was in mid. You and him had a little bit of a rivalry in Honda Scouting Grounds last year. So how's it feel to go up against him again, get that chance for the first blood, but also show him another victory?
It feels good. There's definitely a little bit of banter between me and him, especially like the fact that we were both at Scouting Grounds. We were both probably the 2 top mid prospects, so we were vying for that top spot. We were always trying to, be the one getting to talk to the coaches and all that. But to see that we both ended up making out a team and we're both starting to perform better is really good.
That's awesome. And performing now on the LCS stage, Evil Geniuses gets to play here, and this is your first chance too. So what's that feeling been like, this road to now climb and be able to play in front of all these people?
I mean, it's absolutely crazy. I've been watching League of Legends since season 1, and so even just the fact that I'm standing here talking to you is like, oh my gosh, this is so insane. And I'm just so happy. I'm so grateful for the opportunity EG has given me, and I hope that I can keep proving that I'm a good player and I can keep doing well for them.
Well, with more wins like that, you surely will. Congratulations on the win, and best of luck in the rest of the split. We're going to throw it back to the casters to close out the day.
5-5, feeling good after taking down his Honda Scouting Grounds rival. As we wrap out the day, though, let's see how the teams stack up. Surprise, surprise! Dignitas still leads the Academy League at 8-1, with Immortals still holding onto second place. 100 Thieves, Cloud9, and Golden Guardians Academy, though, are all tied at third, ahead of their weeks wrapping up tomorrow. And after defeating TSM, Evil Geniuses Academy is now tied with them in 6th, as FlyQuest, Team Liquid, and Counter Logic Gaming Academy wrap up our standings. Let's take a look, though, at what games we have coming up tomorrow. Don't forget, Academy starts at 1:30 p.m. tomorrow. Our day starts with 3 Academy games, as Team Liquid Academy will try to take down the top dogs in Dignitas. And we'll have a couple more Academy games before we get into Monday Night League at 5 p.m. Make sure to join the Tigers, Prolly, and Mugsy as they get us ready for Team Liquid versus Dignitas and TSM versus Evil Geniuses. And after Monday Night League concludes, Ovly and Riv will be joined by Skara, Fed, and Yvonne of Offline TV to conclude our week. That's going to be a spicy lounge, Kobe.
Well done, Patient Time. Burning through that copy. Let's go. Let's go. Big round of applause there. Now keep going.
All right, thank you. Now for myself, the cost, and the entire live broadcast crew. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for more of the LCS. Good night.